Hello friends, now let's start with the new program which is based upon Jdbc. So what we are trying to do in this particular program is we are just trying to make use of the Microsoft Access database and try to connect with the Java program. So in this we are making use of the Jdbc program. So let us make use of the program. For that, first let's go to new project. Since we are trying to work with a pure Java application, so we need to make use of the Java application as a selection, then go to next, then just give the name of our application in the form of student info or whatever you want. You can just give it student info or student information, then I'll just click on finish. So as soon as I do this, then we can see that there is a project. So here we have got the project. So the code for this is very lengthy. So what I do is I have the code which is written inside the notepad. So I just copy that and paste it inside the program. So I'm making the changes so that this suits our application. So I have created the program. Okay, so in this particular program we are just trying to make use of the Java Swing application. So first we need to make use of the import statements like abstract window toolkit, then event, then even the SQL as well as Swing application. So when we are making use of this student information, then we need some labels to be displayed, then we need some text boxes to be used, then we need some buttons to be used, then to process the data we need to make use of the result set. So for any GUI application making use of the swings, we need to make use of the create GUI function by making use of the object of the class whatever we have created. So for in the create GUI, first we create one frame, and inside that frame we are just giving the caption or the title of that particular frame as MCA student database. Then I am making use of one container in the form of frame C object, and I am making use of the content pane for that. Then I am making use of the layout of this in the form of box layout, where I'll be having the container present inside the box layout with the y-axis. Then I'll be creating the labels here. Then I'm creating the text boxes here. So these are the labels, then these are the text boxes with the size of the fields. Then I'm making use of the J panel, which is used for making use of all this text boxes, buttons and everything are put inside the J panel. Then I am making use of the grid layout in the form of 4 rows and 2 columns. Then I'm adding all the text boxes and the labels to the panel by making use of the add function. Then next I am making use of the button insertion. So I am creating a button called as insert using the J button. Then I'm associating this with the action listener. Similarly for update, for delete, for previous, for next as well as for clear. So these are the names for this, and for this what I am making use of is, so along with this we need to make use of some more options, like I want to make use of one more small panel wherein I'll be having a previous button and the next button in the form of arrows, left arrow and the right arrow, and I'll be setting the action command for left arrow as previous and right arrow as next, and I'll be associating this with the button action listener. Then I'm making use of a grid layout to make use of this and adding those previous button and the next button to this. Then I'm making use of the action performed method, which is the event listener, and I'm making use of all the function calls. For insert data, I'll be using the insert command. Then for update, I'll be calling update data. So depending upon whatever button has been clicked, I'll be calling the respective function. So after making use of this, I'll be going to insert data function, wherein I am using the loading of the class by using a class.forName. So in this particular case, the driver. What we need to load is Jdbc Odbc driver. Then I'm making use of the connection and establishing the connection using get connection method by using the Odbc type of driver with a DS called as student. Then I'm making use of the SQL query for insertion. Then I'm making use of the statement object, which is used to write the things into DBMS software or make use of the queries to the DBMS software, and associating the statement object with the connection whatever I have created. Then on successful execution by making use of execute method from the statement class or statement interface, I'll be displaying the message as inserted successfully. So after insertion, I'll be clearing the controls. So here I am making use of the input. Sometimes I'll be making use of class not found exception, and sometimes I'll be having a SQL exception. For that, I'll be just putting these things into try and catch blocks. So the same will be with respect to insert data. Then even the this one update data as well as delete data. So here we'll be just making use of the queries. Then for previous, what I do is I just make use of the result set which is already being created, and the result set will be making use of the type, wherein I'll be using the type scroll sensitive flag will be set, and concur updatable will also be set. So type scroll sensitive means I'll be scrolling the things by using the next button and the previous button. So in those things it must be able to scroll, and whenever I'm trying to scroll, even it must be updatable as well. Then I'll be making use of rs.previous. Then I'll be using populate controls to populate the things whatever I am using inside the text box. Then the same with respect to next method as well. Then as soon as my query is successful for updation, deletion and so on, then I'll be creating a message box wherein I'll be printing the result. Then I'll be clearing the controls by emptying all the text boxes. I show by making use of set text method present inside the text boxes. Then for populate controls, I'll be just giving the retrieving the information from the result set which has already been retrieved. So this is how this program is going to work. Now let's try to make use of one database for this particular program. So to create the database, I go to one of the folder, then make use of one Microsoft Access database, give the database name, something like student, then I'll open it. So after opening this, we can see we can find a blank format or blank file. So I just go to create and go for table design. So after I create the table design, I'll be getting the things in this fashion, and I need to write the text where I'm using let's go to insert function where we have all the field names, name, name, address and place. So let's try to use them as the fields. So name, and the data type will be text for this. Then real name, then address, then place. So I have created them. Let's save this. So after saving, I need to give this to name of the table. The name of the table can also be seen in the query, that is student is the table name. So let's give the table name as student. So here it is case sensitive, so we need to be careful while working with this. So here it is asking for the primary key, but we don't need any primary key for this, so I will just use no. So my table has been created. Let's open this by double clicking on that. Then we can see the table which is not having any data inside that, but it is having the column names. Now after this, just save this and close this. Now what I will do is I need to establish a connection for this. So I will go to control panel. So in the control panel, I will just search for administrative tools. So in the administrative tools, I need to go for data sources, that is in the form of Odbc, which is the open database connection. Then I will go for user DSN or system DSN. I can go for user DSN. So I'll just make use of add function. After using the add, I'll be making use of the MDB or ACCDB, which is the default extension for Microsoft Access. Then I need to select the file which I have created in the form of access file. So it is present inside the D drive. I'll go to D drive and here I have the student. Then click on OK. So after clicking on OK, I need to give the DSN name. So the DSN name also can be found in here itself. The student itself is the DSN name. So I'll go to student. I just type student here. Then click on OK. Then click on OK. Here we can see our student has been created. Now click on OK. Now we need to run this program. So I will just try to run this program. So I'll just see the output window here. So in the output window we can see it is running. So here we have the window. So let's give the information here. So I'll give my name here. Then make use of the insert button. So as soon as I say insert, I will be getting insert successfully. Now let's go to the file and check whether it has been inserted or not. So just open this file. So here we can see the data has been inserted. Now just close this. I'll be just closing it here. Then go to our Java file. Then make use of this button. So I can make use of this. So I make the updation here by clicking on MCA. By typing MCA. So I'll just use update. So updated successfully. Close this. Then let's see the database, what exactly it is having. So I'll go to the database and use open. So here it has been updated as MCA BLDCT. So similarly we can even delete the things, but I recommend you people to close this one. So go to your file, then make use of these buttons. Here I have the button, then I will use delete, then record of location deleted. Then I will see that information in the access database. See, here we can see that the data has been deleted. So this is how this particular program works. Thank you.